Hi everyone, today's date is the 23rd of January 2025 and I'm going to continue with the evidence with Henry Cavill and Mina Crichton's relationship online, just for the purpose of my court case that is a criminal case, and an example, and in relation to other relationship scams in my profile, and that is what I've been used for. Okay, so I'm the actual original for my case. My name is Mina Crichton. So welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. I'm the one that is the narrator of all my YouTube channel. So this is the purpose for an exhibit for my criminal case, and also to denounce any other the opposing allies who are claiming that they are in a relationship with Henry. So I'm just telling my story and the evidence publicly for the sake of others that are following me, and also I am the original of everything that I'm doing, including my court cases. So basically we're dealing with fabricated evidence, whether it's public deception or evidence on my personal profile, in the facts in my file, and all it's called mix fixing evidence, just from being used like an app or a product, and other people are controlling and manipulating my circumstances. And as already mentioned, like on the other clips, it is trafficking in persons case. So we're dealing, my cases in the courts does deal with me litigating my case. I've been self-representing my cases since 2016. However, unbeknown to me in the first instance, I mean, a lot of things have taken time for it to actually surface, and the evidence clearly reveals that I have been used for like a Game of Thrones, sort of a game involving the court system and also the government system. So this is where the relationship scams come in, and the illegal Commonwealth game, and the division within your family, and how the actual Commonwealth game and Game of Thrones entails. Now, some cultures, they have their beliefs. It's got to be a king and a queen, whatever they want to call it. I have never played a game like where I voluntarily, wanted to participate in anything to do with indirect corruption, you name it. However, I have been the competitor by my allies for whatever reason they're competing. But the everything that I've gone through, the best way to describe it is in this picture, okay? And inside we're talking about the courts, because this happened while I was working for my employer, the Ministry of Justice, and it is a Game of Thrones. And the other dangerous thing about it is a lot of crimes involving deceit in it, and it's indirect, of misuse of devices. And so I'm the original, and like I already described, I'm the one that's been animated while I was working for my employer. So spiritually, because I'm the original and I'm the one always on the defense, using the court system, but I am being pinned down, and basically everything in my area has been contaminated. Everyone's using their occupation, but on a negative side, it is a sadistic spirit. Like spiritually, that's how you would describe these people. What they're doing is negative. Their motive and intention is to erase everything about you, a personal intimate vendetta to actually take over, and at the end of the day you will end up murdered or just disappear. But it is a Commonwealth public scam gaming involving heinous hate crimes and using social media, and it is a global game. So I'm very lucky to even be telling my story, but I'm just gonna I'm just like using posts and that just to describe what to expect if you are a victim to this kind of crimes. Okay, so it does involve infidelity. You need to be in a relationship with somebody for the third party to be actually involved. However, I've been single most of my life because it was just a choice, and but I have found that the relationships that I've been involved in has involved third parties secretly behind the scene, and that's what's happened to me. What I have found though during the process of this journey I've been going through, they have been erasing and damaging my property intentionally with there's definite intent there that manslaughter or conspiracy to commit murder. There's several elements of that in my case, in my personal profile, but this is the danger of what's happened when you're subject to it. Another way of explaining it, it is a secret money laundering Ponzi scam because there are several perpetrators, and the whole idea is secret stealing without getting caught, just by using the misuse of devices. And the thing is, it doesn't stop. They just keep on stealing. And then they switch, they leave the crime scene, new people come in and they do exactly the same thing. So from on a spiritual point of view, my whole experience spiritually has been a spiritual warfare. Okay, so I'm a Christian, and so I can actually confirm that I'm dealing with the supernatural realm and the realms of witches, and warlocks system. Okay, so this is like I'm being exactly like, I feel like I'm being exiled, but I can actually prove that that's what was happening to me while I was actually working for my employer. Okay, and they did all what they did while I was working, but everything negative in the spiritual realm is the opposing ally with evil motive and intention to take over your personal territory. So another way of looking at it, whether the forces is a constructive interference or a destructive interference. So but in hindsight, we're actually in the age of mass incarceration. So what I'm saying is this can happen to anybody. So the whole idea really is just to explain the New Age illegal Commonwealth games, and it's like the tradition and the New Age versus the New Age system. So I'm innovation savvy, and meaning that I'm being blessed of both worlds. Like there's a balance there. I'm quite knowledgeable of both worlds, and the New Age system, I've had to go through it and learn about it myself because I've had to go through it personally. But legally, it is called a human trafficking system. But it's the dangerous is that the danger in it. It's a global Commonwealth game. Okay, and the fight is real, the warfare is real, but yeah, it's usually indirect. People, they call themselves shadow people or zombie zone. So yeah, I guess I've been subject to the New Age system that is global. And this post here basically just describes in my own words what it entails spiritually, and also versus the opposing allies. Their motive and intent is they do intend on murdering innocent civilians. Once you're actually caught in it, there's a good chance that they'll keep attacking you until they achieve their full mission. And this here it involves all kinds of cultures, religion. I can't really point the finger at any specific group of people, but we are dealing with extremists who are actually using the occupation for the wrong reasons. And believe it or not, they've even come out mockingly, like mockingly, they're letting me know what they're doing, and it's like actually living in a real life horror movie from my point of view. But this post here will basically describe, and from my mindset, of what I see in the public. But they are using their occupation. To them, it's just a game. Okay, they don't care. They don't care if you live or die. They want to. It's like you're the prey, and they're just having fun, mocking you, teasing you, hurting you, humiliating you. It is definitely crimes against humanity. So, okay, so I'm going to start off. Henry and I met in July 2023. He found me. He's the one who came into my space, and before we know it, he just pursued me and just didn't want to give up. Okay, in the beginning, I just like played along with it, just like a joke, just going with it. And I'm a very straightforward person, so I did try push him away. I wasn't interested, like, for a romantic relationship, because I wasn't looking. And I thought, well, but I could tell. I do have the gifts of discernment, and I know a good person when I speak to them, whether by texting or on the phone. I'm just pretty good at just knowing who's a good character and from one that's not. So I did get a good feeling with Henry, and before you know it, we got into a real deep relationship, just getting to know each other. And so that's how our relationship started. But I knew he had fallen in love with me, and I could tell that. And there are other spiritual things that happened that I don't really want to disclose yet, which gave me confirmation that he was safe for me to be close to, because I'm one of these people, I'm that private, and my private space is important to me. So when you're starting communicating with somebody online, texting, your emotions are real, everything's real. And he was real. I loved everything about him the first instance. So that's how we met. But as time went on, I didn't realize how serious he was with me, until one day, he just, out of the blue, he asked me to do an oath, a blood oath. Well, I know that sounds really ridiculous, but at the time I had fallen deeply in love with him, and vice versa. We just felt it, and we just knew. And he's the one who initiated me to do a blood oath, which I just, without hesitation, said yes and did it. But he had also written the oath, like a marriage vow, and I just thought, I honest to God, I didn't even think anything of it, because he made me feel safe. I felt safe with him, and and I just felt safe with him, and that's quite weird, because I'm pretty cautious about people, and it's not the kind of thing a person my age or my mindset would just do. But from the day we met, I had a good feeling about him, and then I prayed about it, and God showed me in other ways that he was safe for me to be having this new relationship with. And I thought, why not? Because I knew I needed to get back out into the dating world, and I was ready for all that. And so that's how our relationship happened. But then one day he wanted to do a blood oath, and without any hesitation, because I was madly in love with him by this time, we did it. And this here is evidence of what we did. And he actually wrote the oath, and I don't really want to disclose that. And so we did it. And then and everyone knows, when it comes to oath, I don't take anything lightly, because it's an oath. So when you go and make oaths, to me, that's that's sacred and it's before God, whichever way you do it. So that's was kind of like the starting point of our real relationship, and this actually happened in the beginning, like I'd say the first 6 months of our relationship. We kept it a secret. We loved it. We just got to know each other, no interference, and I loved it. And I was just getting to know him, and I was like, I had really nothing to lose. But then I just felt hard for him, and God just gave me lots of confirmation that he was safe for me. Or it was safe for me to be with him. He made me feel safe, and so I just went with it. So during this time of our relationship, most of our communication has been on apps, and like I am very new to the technology, everything to do with apps. So Henry is the one that has been the one connecting us. He's the one who connected me onto it, because like honestly that's just not my field of knowledge as far as all these new technologies. So all that was all new to me, but Henry was the one who connected us. But we became really close. I trusted him that much that I allowed him to have access into my bank accounts and into all my other, because we had other intentions of, we had definitely real intentions of being together. Unfortunately, the personal vendetta of the relationship scam is that the opposition, it is a negative alliance, and they are glued to these other women involved in trying to claim or trying to get Henry. Some of them are obsessed, obviously, but from my point of view, it is personal victimization of the originals, like that you're dealing with the originals emotions, everything, because they're that close. They're listening. That historically I have found that they're listening to what I'm saying, and then they're doing the opposite to destroy. And then the women that are being used, or the positive energy or whatever it is on the surface, it's been deviated to them. So this is the reason why I have decided, and Henry and I decided, to go public. Okay, so recently in my last clip we talked about, just one moment, going back to this, we were talking about his ex, what's her name, Natalie. Okay, so she's the other competition. Then we have Amy Denton. She's the other competition. Now, Henry and I made the decision that I would denounce everything public, because both of us, our lives were being, we knew that people were making, sabotaging and making everything difficult for us. So recently, there's video clips out there where the public, believing that Natalie and Henry had been together all this time, making me look like the other woman or the crazy one. That the reality is, they haven't been in a romantic relationship since we met. And we met, when we met, they weren't even together romantically. Everything has been a PR relationship. Okay, but apparently this is how Hollywood operates. Everything is pretending. Nothing's real. Unfortunately, it's not like, for something like that to happen in public. It's public deception, causing negative reliances in my space, attacking me, and that this is Henry and I's relationship is a good example of what has happened to me personally, historically. So just to put all the gossip and the news out on media, they are not engaged. They haven't been together. Henry doesn't love her in that way. He doesn't want anything to do with her. In fact, he's trying to move on to different things and try different new things. So the concerning point in regards to the news is that at the time this came out, he wasn't like the whole deception on the public is that he's with Natalie all this time, and I'm making up, my evidence is not true, and but that's not true at all. Basically, to put it blunt, the evidence that is being put out is a criminal tactic to deceive the public. It's also, I have found this is the method they have used when you're applying or doing your court cases. This is what the opposition is actually doing. So the danger is, I know that she's connected to my court cases, which is treason in my country. Okay, so is Amy Denton. She's somehow also connected to my court cases. So Henry has agreed and supports me to just denounce everything for the sake of my court cases and for the sake of those who are following me and watching everything I'm doing, and for those that are actually protecting both of us. So this here, I've denounced this female a few times. She has changed her name, the name of her channel, but her real name is Amy Denton, and I'm so not used to the Hollywood world, but apparently this is normal for them. However, it's not normal, because according to the criminal laws, it's actually known as a conspiracy, and they are creating fraudulent alliances, and they are creating the lying, the defaming Henry's character, and the defaming myself. So that is why we made the decision that I would denounce all these relationships, because of the danger of the alliances that are coming to my country in New Zealand, and they are connected and linked to people that I know in my private life. So at the time of those video clips of Natalie and Henry apparently in Australia walking in the park with the pushchair, that photo was actually taken, Henry said, taken 2 years ago. It was a PR stunt, but it was Natalie's idea to go out for a walk and pretending to be what it's like to have a baby. She also has a ring on her finger on these photos, but they were engaged before he found out that she cheated, so he broke it off. Okay, so this is Henry's word to me. But this here photo here is most recent. I have other photos of him, but this photo here is what he actually looks like, and he looks worried here. Okay, he's just had a first operation, but this is like going on to the next operation, where he was told by the doctors that he had to go for a second operation, because when they did the surgery with the first operation, they had used they didn't sterilize the equipment from another patient who had an operation, which caused an infection, and they had to reopen him and remove all the infection. So he's been through hell. He sent me this just before he collapsed, and then he ended up going to hospital and having another operation, because it was a bit of a matter of life and death. He needed to have it, but he looked really worried. And from my point of view, I thought that's not good. That's really, really bad. So this is him here. When he sent me this just to prove to me about the big operation he's had, but he's recovered from it almost. Okay, the whole journey with him has been really intimate and it's been huge. But unfortunately, he went through a period where somebody tried to overdose him, and it looked like somebody was trying to kill him. And this has been consistent with people acting out that they're gonna, someone close. These are the things I'm going through personally by myself, by the opposing allies. I'm making threats, and so with all these things going on, this is the reason why I said to him, we had a discussion. I said, look, we need to go public, because he needed support, I needed support, and I needed people to investigate, because this is how it works. And so with that, that's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it's working. It's absolutely working, and I just want to thank you, everybody that has done their bit, just to protect myself and others, and also Henry. So once again, that's what it looks like. Okay, I've already explained this on the last video clip. Okay, so what we're dealing with is definitely money laundering. Okay, because all the acts of money laundering is taking place, but it's not happening just in New Zealand. It's a global game. Okay, between using it to individuals. I actually, God revealed to me different things to do with Henry, and visually and in dreams and stuff like that. And just confirmation of a few things. And just from personal experience, it didn't take long for me to realize that he was actually in danger also. So I guess I can say that the whole relationship scenario that has happened to me, it has been definitely a love triangle, but it's also been a Ponzi scam. And the alliances that is connected to these women are connected to my court cases, and that is what the evidence clearly articulates in my profile. And it's actually really serious. So spiritually, we're dealing with imposters. These are people that are already locked in your set of circumstances. I don't know, with my personal experience of what I've gone through, I'm actually a real miracle to actually understand, or even just even to be alive today, to be honest. But spiritually, the Bible calls this kind of a system, scorpions and serpents. They represent a negative spirit, of course. But the imposters are breaking all the laws, okay? The people in the middle. And it's all consistent with me being an exploited person while I was working for my employer. And all they need to do is just code one of your, code the person, and then it is a demolition of a human being. The whole idea is that they're watching you, they've tagged you, and it doesn't stop until you're actually eliminated. And the whole idea is that it doesn't backfire, and people are able to come and commit this crime scene and then leave. And it is a global system. So, and everything they're doing is unlawful. They're using members of your family, they're using members of the public. This explains why people in the public come out when you're driving and you're people coming out acting or doing weird things. You just know that something's not right. It's because you're subject to what I'm talking about, Commonwealth illegal game. But it is a global game, because they're coding people, and people are actually moved or doing things because they're being coded. They just need to watch the screen, and they already know what they need to do, or they're just using the mobiles, or just texting. That's how advanced it is. But it is the imposters are actually using their jobs, using stealing people's identity, and just they're just using their jobs. So that what I'm saying is, you're already locked in. So these ladies are connected to my court cases. There are other secret females that apparently is linked to Henry. It's been really hard for me emotionally because you know I am sensitive, I have feelings and everything, but the opposing allies' intention is to torment me. You know, or to break. Well, their idea is to break us up. So this is all linked to my court cases, but it is slavery or slave-like, modern day slavery, and all the laws are broken. So I will just leave it at that. And so we're dealing with these alliances. They are creating evidence, they are sabotaging, they are creating fabricated evidence to deceive the public. And that is like 10 years imprisonment. But yeah, all the laws that applies to the original, like the original person, it applies to these women too, and their alliances. So I will end it there with the relationship scam. This is a good example of that's what I've been used for. You know, I'm being coded like a product, but it's definitely, there's privacy invasion, and it's 100% indictable offences. Okay, thank you for listening to me. Welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. I will end this video now, and will keep on putting evidence up just for my criminal case, and I'll see you in my next clip.